Hello everyone, welcome back to Apollo Art Analysis. Today we're going to be looking at a piece by Douglas Murakami. He is a Brazilian artist. I believe he's a concept artist, I'm not entirely sure there. He does a lot of natural scenes. He also dabbles in a little bit of cyberpunk art, and I'm actually contemplating on curating one of his pieces up here in the coming days, just kind of a on the whim type of thing. I just found the piece today, and it actually matches our upcoming color palette with a cyberpunk piece in the second or third piece after this one. So I might just put him in there again to have him twice in this month because it is a really good piece and we haven't really gone there before. So I think it's a stunning opportunity to do that. But enough of that. We're going to focus on this piece here. So obviously in our initial introduction, we're met with this lotus flower. Looks highly reminiscent of a pink lotus, and the lotus, of course, emphasizes its form through this stunning light on dark contrast. And even though it is light on dark contrast by technicality, it's important to note that this entire piece is pretty colorful. It's pretty light as well. And even though this is a daily morning study, so the artist entitled it Daily Morning Study. So even though this is just a simple, even routine morning study, I think it's really important to note just how beautiful these pieces are. This might be what some artists just call like a throwaway, you know? Then they might just create a piece in the morning and then move as kind of practice, you know? And that as creative types we always do that. But I wanted to slow down and really just take a look at this piece, even if it's just a daily morning study. So I think that's really important to note and just to create such a beautiful and memorable experience right here. And that's always incredible. So this light on dark contrast, of course, but even though this piece is entirely filled with light, you see streaks of light up here with the little wet watermarks as well. All important to note, the light, of course, reflecting off the surface of the water. Bit of ripples create this unique texture there. We can also see a literal texture there as well in the digital painting. So it's all really important to note whenever taking a look at this piece. So these, just by technicality, are darker than the pink lotus. So that is exactly what creates that light on dark contrast. This isn't necessarily dark, but it is darker than this just specifically. So whenever we take a look at nature, it's always really important to remember that nature is a lot more complex than you think. We have the birth of complex consciousness, such as humans. We have the endless living beings, which have been kind of collectively cultivated within this massive ecosystem. Just think about all of those conscious beings and all of the life that has gone through here. Nature wants to connect with itself. It's wants symbiosis. It always wants to go for harmony. And I think that is why a piece like the lotus flower is such a symbolic form. So the lotus in general, it's seen to represent a path of spirituality. It's seen to represent purity. And of course, the purity is exactly because you have such a beautiful flower and it can grow in almost any conditions. It can be the muddiest of waters, but the lotus still comes up and blooms to create such a beautiful blooming petals. So that, of course, is purity in and of itself, but that is also the spirit and path of spirituality as well. So that's important to note. Think about the muddy waters as the chaotic or really uncomfortable parts of life. And through this path of spirituality, you go through a higher state of being to, of course, bloom victoriously as the lotus. You move closer to your perceived ideal of being. And once you reach closer and closer to that ideal, you have gone further and further into your path of your spiritual path in general. The pink lotus specifically is seen to represent enlightenment, and enlightenment is a really complex topic. It's very kind of controversial for some people as well, but we're just going to connect this symbol to the spirit of enlightenment. It's really important. Enlightenment through experience, the keys of knowledge, enlightenment through the muddy waters to come out victorious with some type of higher ideal or higher realization. It's always really important to note. Just note the amount of natural motifs within this piece. Of course, you have the foundation of life, water, as kind of the background or neutral part of this piece here. But you also have the lily pads, and the lily pads are denoted by that slight curve. As you can see, the darker shadows represent that curve and that curve at a site. And that's always really important to note. A really natural piece here. And of course, finally, the lotus represents rebirth. Plants in and of themselves really represent rebirth because the seeds come from the plant, so the seeds are a part of the plant, or they are the plant. But eventually, as the plant moves on and dies, the seeds are spread to have a rebirth or more and more of those plants. And that's exactly what the lotus does as well, so that's really important to note. So Murakami has been showcased about, I believe once. He might have been, this might be his second or his third, it's hard to note. I believe it's his second, but it very well be his third, so keep on the lookout for that. Go to Murakami's page, check out some of his other digital paintings. He does a lot of natural scenes, so if you're someone who likes art coming straight from nature, you're going to really like Douglas Murakami. So I hope you guys enjoyed this piece. I hope you guys learned a little bit about the lotus. Look deeper. There's actually different representations or different symbolic meanings for different colors of the lotus. That's always important to note. And so the purple lotus can be different from the pink lotus and so on and so forth. So go check out some of that and you can look deeper into the symbolism of this piece. Like I said, this is a daily morning study. So even though it's a routine piece, I really wanted to take a moment to slow down and take a look at it deeper, even if it's just a simple, routine morning study. So hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you guys learned something, and I'll see you on the next Apollo Art Analysis. We hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you'd like to support our work directly, please check out our Apollo community tokens. Polar Art Exchange is an ecosystem of art appreciation which elevates artists each and every day. Thanks for listening.